My life fades. My audio dims. All that remains are dumb ideas. I remember a podcast of chaos, ruined dreams, this wasted land. Most of all, I remember the KDI podcast, the hosts we called Dala, Gibbledang, and GymleaderNate. To understand who they were, we have to go back to the other time, when the world was powered by dumb ideas, and the desert sprung great cities of pipe and stupid games. Gone now, swept away, for reasons I...
Hey, GymleaderNate, is that you? What are you doing on the wasteland? It's been like a week since we got out of the Vault 420. Holy hell!
Yeah, it's been a rough week. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Who's that on that dune over there? Is that?
Oh,
Hey, sugar tits! It's me, Mel Gibbledang Gibson.
Mel Gibbledang.
I think
Mel
he went through this plan of
Gibbledangson.
marrying Mel Gibson and taking his name.
Oh,
That's right.
Crap.
oh, okay, cool. It's better than the alternative of being a mutant.
Yeah, and we're making
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ 2 and 3.
Oh.
3. I knew 3 would be the real moneymaker. I was hoping Mel Gibson would die so I could make it.
Yeah, is Mel Gibson the actual, like, he's on the cross on that one?
Yeah,
He's got to be Christ this time, right?
What?
yeah.
Fair, I think so. Which, yeah, I mean, shit, it's good to see both of y'all. I mean, different things are different. I'm a gimp now.
Oh yeah, it's good to see you too. Oh, that I see. That's a leather
Yeah.
mask. I thought that
Yeah.
was just your face now.
I mean, I guess it is in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Both of my hands are hooks now, so I assumed everybody else was facing about the same hardship I have been.
Yeah, and
it-
what happened to your voice too?
I got. It
Did you
turns
get
out
punched
that
in the throat or something?
No,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I tried to eat some things you're apparently not supposed to eat, so I had like an allergic reaction, but only on the insides.
Okay.
So
Or, well,
I have
oh, yeah, I'm
inward
sorry.
hives.
Mm.
Oh, Ives, as they call them. Well, here, I'll give you this steroid. That should hopefully help. Whoa. Oh my god, he's a super mutant. Oh shit, okay, wait. I got an idea, Gibbledang. What if, to help calm down GymleaderNate, what if we just host a podcast episode today?
Yeah, I was gonna say we could get into our weeks, and that should
Sure.
steer things back on
That'll
track.
help calm. Yeah. All right, let's sit by this. GymleaderNate, if you want to join, we're going to talk about our weeks. If you want to join us on this campfire.
Oh, are we podcasting? Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
If we're
yeah.
gonna talk,
In fact,
we're gonna get into some stuff. Yeah, I can sit down.
Sure. Yeah. What have y'all been up to for this past week in the wasteland? If you want to.
It has been an unproductive week. You know, speaking of the wasteland, I have just been playing Fallout in my free time. Fallout 4. Really, that's all I've been doing. It's the most
Sounds productive.
Yeah, it's the most I can do to decompress from my dog shit job that I'm gonna be working up the courage to quit soon, you know. But I think that's just been making me feel super down, so right now my main alternative has just been playing video games, you know. Like I said, well, just Fallout 4 really. I just watched the last episode of X-Men 97. I thought that was insane.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Is
it out?
What?
Not the
thought it was-
last one, but the most
okay.
recent one.
I just was
I was
looking
like,
at my
oh,
phone
shit.
because I was like, "Is it Wednesday? Holy shit!"
Yeah, no, same. That's what threw me off. I was like, wait, what day are we?
I was very concerned, very fast.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes
Yeah.
out, the series or the first season would be over. But yeah, that show's been stellar so far. Well, I say so far, but there's only one episode left, and I doubt that it's gonna be like
It bombs at the
change
last.
it, yeah.
I mean, it could.
It's been pretty
Could, I
sick
guess.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last night Smiling Friends premiered. It's the first
Oh,
two
nice.
episodes.
Yeah.
And we had already seen the first episode that introduced the first episode of season 2 that introduced Gimli, the yellow fake N64 character that got really popular online in real life. But the second episode was like an election episode, and I think that was probably my favorite episode so far. Really fucking funny.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Smiling Friends, one of my favorite shows.
Very
And-
Smiling Friends sounds very kid friendly. I'm assuming like just a bash for small children. Just like a little like a
Yeah.
friendly, happy, laughing party. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, show it to the smallest child you
It's like-
know.
Okay. Got
baby.
it. Got it.
I mean, honestly, a baby would
babies.
Yeah,
Yeah. It could
it's a
work
show
for
for
them.
babies. But honestly, that was. I mean, apart from that, we all watched Planet of the Apes, which I think we will talck
Mhm.
about a little bit later. It's been a big ape week, ape month,
Yeah.
ape
Lucky
last couple
month.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
We could call it Mape.
Maybe.
Maple?
Yeah.
Ape.
oh,
April?
Mape.
What's the? I mean, April would have been
Mankey?
perfect, but we're in May. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's it for my week. What about y'all? What about you, GymleaderNate?
I've been all right. I've been, trying to just keep productive as well. Been getting some chores done a lot, which has been nice. Doing some cleaning and stuff, like getting my bathroom cleaned a little bit better, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do more of it and actually like clean it. It's gonna look really nice and make me feel a lot more comfortable. Because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes it's like I have trouble keeping up with it. So when it gets bad, it gets depressing. So
Oh yeah.
No, fair.
yeah. So yeah. Other than that, just really playing Stardew Valley a lot still, and
Ooh, nice.
we learned a lot about that game and how crazy it is, and how much like RNG is actually put into the game, so that like each run is like very unique. So like it's been cool. I've gotten random drops that like I've talking to my girlfriend about, like apparently are not everywhere and like not
Ooh.
common. So it's like even already on my first try, it's like a
Oh,
very
wow.
unique
You're getting
game.
like rare. Yeah.
Yeah. A rare occurrence I got was the crop fairy showed up, and she can
Oh,
randomly
okay.
show up and just instant grow all of your crops, and you'll just
Ooh.
wake up the next day and they'll all be
All
ready
right.
to harvest. So
That's cool.
That's pretty sick.
that was
Do you
pretty
see what
sick.
she looks like?
Yeah, it
or
shows
is
a
it
little
just, like-
cutscene. Like after you go to bed for the night, it shows a cutscene of her like coming in the middle of the night and waving her wand, and then you wake up the next day and you see what's changed, and you see that you have crops now.
Damn it! I got the crap fairy this time.
It's
Shit.
just shit
Oh.
everywhere.
She's the one that makes you have to
Damn
clean
it.
your bathroom routinely.
What I wish I got was the carp fairy. I just want fish.
Ooh.
I love fishing in
Fish,
Stardew
yeah.
Valley. It's so much fun.
I wish I got the craps fairy that wants to play craps with me all the time.
Oh, I thought you were about
On
to
the
say
back.
crabs fairy, as in the fairy who
Gets
gives you
crabs.
crabs.
The other day I took a crap fiery. It was not the best, but
That's actually my favorite chef, Crap Fieri.
Oh, it's so good. Oh shit, that's good. That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, just seeing movies that I guess I'm yawning is the
Big
other thing that's up,
yawning
I guess.
boy, my
Jesus.
God.
I'm just like,
It's the mutant serum I
Full
put
of
in on. It
yawns.
makes you
to
tired.
hear it.
yeah, when you're turning into a
Yeah.
ghoul, the first symptom is yawns, actually.
It's contagious.
Yeah, it's contagious. No, yeah. Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Very fun. That was a highlight for sure. Because I overall, I had a great time.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, my week is honestly funny enough, very like similar, where it's like I didn't do too much. I mean, I've just been stressed and some life things going on, so just been trying to like manage that. Whenever I have stressful shit happen, I always try to go out more and do all the things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You said you were gonna
Lost
quit
Steam.
my job for me, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Interesting.
I've got to build something.
I'm quitting on behalf of Gibbledang.
No, I was gonna go dressed up as Gibbledang and be like, "Hey, it's me." I was just like, "It's me, Gibbledang. I'm gonna say my catchphrase, Yabba-doo-boo. I'm here to quit."
Yabba-doo-boo, I'm gone.
Woo.
Yabba-doo-boo, everybody.
Ew, ew,
You
ew.
know, as I always
Ew, ew.
say, anyways, keep your pancake on the buttered side. Bye.
Yeah, always wear your pants on your socks with your feet in.
There you
That's all I
go.
always say.
Solid advice.
You guys know me so well.
Yeah, listeners go back to old episodes. You're saying all this in it.
Yeah, those are
I never
exact
noticed.
quotes, verbatim.
Nah, but I've been just trying to get out. The weather's been great too, so it's like going for walks, take the dog out. It's fine. The other day I went to 2 stores. I went to a bookstore and a comic shop, and I bought a book at the comic shop and a comic at the bookshop, which was funny to me.
Nice.
Just like without thinking.
Never
That's
hashtag
funny.
never let them know your next move.
Exactly.
Exactly. I didn't even know my own move. I didn't expect to buy either of those, to be fair.
They
But,
can't know my next move if I don't know my next move.
No. Yeah. But the one thing I did watch, I binged in one sitting because it was just so good,
Nice.
is the show Jury Duty on Amazon.
Oh, is that the
I've
fake
heard.
It's Night of You.
Oh.
It's so good. Yeah, for listeners, it's a show that's like basically it's advertised as it's going to be a docuseries about what it's like to be on a jury. However, the guy that signs up, there's only one guy that is not an actor, and the whole everything around the case is fake. Completely improvised, acted.
Yep.
It's so funny.
The,
It's so good.
The
It's like
judge, the
perfect.
lawyers, the
Yeah.
people in the courtroom,
Plaintiff.
the plaintiff, everybody is an actor except for one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, it's funny because they put him in the main role and everything, and he's like the protagonist. So it's like the show revolves around this guy, and it gets ridiculous. Like some of the shit, like in I think the second episode, they're talking about the case and what happened, and there's like literally like a minute straight where they're like. They're interviewing one of the witnesses, and they're like, yeah, he pee-peed and poo-pooed on himself. And then like the judge's like, well, I don't know about poo-pooed, but did he pee? It's like,
that's
like a minute of that.
It's got me.
We've established that
So-
poo-poo is hearsay. What I need to know is
Poo-poo.
did
Yeah.
he pee-pee in his
He pee-pee,
pantaloons?
yeah.
Objection. If case hereby, if you see the evidence, there's doo-doo feces all over the evidence.
It's literally that. It's literally. There's like a part where it's like the first episode where there's a character. One of the characters talks to the main guy. He's like, "Hey, like, how do I get out of jury duty?" And the guy's like, "Well, like, I saw this one thing, like, where it's on Family Guy, but I wouldn't. It's like being, racist." And then like later it cuts to them. And they're like, "Hey, so why do you guys think you shouldn't be on there?" And the guy he looks at the I forget his name. I think his name is Norman
Mhm.
or something, like whatever his name is. Or no, it's Ronald. That's what it is. He looks at Ronald, and just Ronald, it cuts to him, and he's like big-eyed, like looking away, like, fuck, don't say it.
That's so funny.
It's
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
That's
It's
great.
I would highly recommend if you like Nathan Fielder's like shows, so definitely check that out. But yeah, that's outside of that. The 3 of us, amongst a few other friends, checked out Kingdom of a Planet of the Apes.
Mhm.
Kingdom.
Kingdom of the idea of the no.
No,
There you go. Got it all in there. You're welcome.
yeah, perfect, solid, flawless.
There you go.
Just like the movie. Not that, but I guess I'll start off and then y'all chime in. Just generally thought it was great. It's a good one. It takes place like in the farther future, which
Mhm.
is interesting because it's like, to me, was one thing I'm like, how far ahead is this? Because it's
Yeah.
like, but they kept it ambiguous because they can't really tell you. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
Except
Although
outside
the
of
director
the-
did answer it
except-
outside of the movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he
which-
say? How long?
300.
300. Jesus.
Yeah.
Because there's like some stuff, and I think we'll try to keep this spoiler free.
I
We'll
don't
keep
care.
it like
Yes.
major spoiler free maybe, and then but some stuff we're just gonna talk about it. So we'll do what we can, but no promises.
Exactly. Skip ahead if you want. If you're like, I want to go in completely blind.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, no, it's like there's some things that you've later on that I'm like, how long have they been doing that for, or like this? Like, how long is this like civilization or this like group of people or whatever been going on? And so now knowing it's 300, I'm like interesting. I'm curious to see.
I guess just to pop in really quick, the whole movie, it's about this clan of apes. Basically, they kind of follow Caesar's. What is it? No, they don't really follow Caesar's.
They don't. Yeah, they're just like a clan that like
Yeah,
they
they're just
raise
a clan.
birds.
Yeah.
They're a clan.
Like,
they're their
just-
own clan.
Their thing is birds.
They kind of live very secluded in like the woods. They don't go past like I think they have their own forbidden zone, or like they don't go past the beyond,
Yeah.
which is like a reference to the first movie. But basically, it follows the main ape, Noah, who's like I think probably like a teen or like a young adult ape whose clan ends up getting kidnapped and his village ends up getting destroyed. They end up getting kidnapped by this like tyrannical leader who's basically trying to
Also an ape.
trying to
Yeah,
amass an army of apes in order to like further like extend his kingdom and also get to like this it's like they're his expendable army. Very tyrannical, very very
followers
mad.
basically.
And the whole movie's about Noah's journey to get his clan back, and the people that he meets along the way, or the apes he meets, or the human he meets. Yeah, that's the basic gist of the plot, like a journey. I liked it. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm really happy that I'm just really interesting movie that involves a lot of apes and not a lot of humans, and I think that's what makes it even more interesting, is that it's just a ton of the really well made CGI and like very cool acting choices. So I liked it.
It's very
so much
very
fun.
investing. So often throughout the movie I was like, oh my god, I'm watching a movie about monkeys, and like I kind of you forget about it, and then you're just like, oh
Just
yeah,
like Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla X Kong.
Sometimes I forget he's the size of the Eiffel Tower.
Like there's a point where Noah, you see him cry, and you see you very much see the performances in everybody, in all the apes, and it's going to be very interesting because they say that they're going to release a mocap version of the movie, which I'm very interested to see.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can see all of their performances.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's kind of the twists and turns are basically what you expect from like a Planet of the Apes movie. It was really, I don't know, I really recommend it. I had a lot of fun with it. I would definitely recommend rewatching the very first Planet of the Apes movie before you go into this one, because I feel like it has the most references to that, as opposed, and as well as the trilogy that came right before it.
I feel like of all the Apes movies too, this is like definitely the least twisty. Like it's relatively straightforward.
I think they're even the twists are pretty guessable.
Yeah,
I could see
you
them
pretty much like
coming,
assume all the twists anyways, and then they just kind of confirm
or
it.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you don't have it one-on-one, you're gonna know where the twist is coming from at least. It's obviously a new, or maybe it's not for obvious for listeners, but it's a new trilogy that they're doing. So it definitely feels like it's a new start of a new. Like you can watch this. I feel you can watch this on its own, and you get a lot of the background, which is great. Like of what happened before. A lot of that like setup. Like you don't have to watch all 10 ape movies before or 9 before this. It definitely helps, like Gibbledang was saying, with like a lot of references and things to kind of know, like to be like, what am I? Oh, I'm excited for what's coming next.
But it's great because the movie even opens up with like a title card that lets you know, hey, this is Caesar. This is what happened. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's like it just tells you what you need to know right before the movie starts. Like,
It makes sense because it's like a fresh trilogy, so it's like you want to give people a little bit of an intro. Yeah,
it's a nice way to do it. Like every 3 is a new kind of storyline, like along, like that's what the
sagas.
This is how I was hoping they were going to treat the sequel trilogy of Star Wars when I first heard it announced. I was really hoping they were just going to be like, it's been 3 to 500 years. Like people remember Luke
reference
fondly in legend,
but
like they remember our heroes in legend. But now the galaxy's different. New people have arisen, and
what does that legacy mean? What does it mean to other people? How has it been? Which I really like. That's a big plot point in this movie, is the very much like, although all of the apes have like are now like the dominant species, they're all very conflicting in like clans and ideologies. Like they all aren't specifically like following Caesar. Like I think a big point is that the main villain, Proximus Caesar, he's like bastardizing Caesar's legacy while also confusing it with fucking Julius Caesar, which is very
the
historical figure.
Roman general.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you got like Raka, the orangutan, who's one of the best apes in the movie, in the franchise.
The orangutans always are.
Yeah,
they always are.
That's my complaint, is that, especially with this newer series, is that there's always only one orangutan per movie in these newer series. I'm like, give me more. Just more. They're always fun.
There's in the new movies, there's one of each. There's a chimp, a bonobo, a gorilla,
I guess like one main, but there's
one,
there's literally only one orangutan per movie though. There's none in the backgrounds. I don't think of any of the others, or at least
true
for the most part.
There's
like just one.
I think it's interesting because they confirm in like when we meet Raka in this one, he just lost the other orangutan that he was like staying in hiding and researching with. So what that kind of suggests to me is that like orangutans like are like in small groups hidden away, and they just stay in hiding, and they like don't really mix with the other like larger groups of different types of apes, because I don't know why, but the first Planet of the Apes movies would say because they do it because they are religious clerics, and this one kind of confirms that, and that
basically. It's like the start of it.
Yeah, they're like almost like monks.
Yeah. Although I will say, in the original Planet of the Apes, it was very much like the orangutans. They were like politicians, and they also were very much like religious, almost zealots. I don't know if zealots is the right word, but they were like, no, we only follow the word of the law, the lawgiver, the ape, or the original orangutan or whatever. They would throw. It's very much like for their own gain, or what they thought was like the gain of the ape society. But really it was just like negligence, and it was like stifling like growth in the society. Whereas the way Raka looks at it, and the way Raka looks at the actual, like, it's almost like the way that people look at the teachings of the Bible, and they like, people exploit it, and other people are like, oh wait, no, this is like what we need to do. It's like, I think that's just what I'm trying to get at. Because like they're both religious, but like, Raka's like doing it for the betterment of like ape society.
Oh, true. Yeah, no, I thought like solid. All the apes perfect performances. I loved the villain, Proximus Caesar. It's like a great villain. I mean, he's like comes in pretty late. There's not too much of him compared to like other characters that would be like also villains or like henchmen. But for what we did get of him, it was like pretty solid. And I wouldn't say like I wholeheartedly agree with him, but I'm like, I can see where he's coming from. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Like he's trying to just like, he's got like a good idea, because there's so the whole movie, I think about the movie overall, it's kind of just like, humans messed up the earth, so now do they take it back, or the apes like is it their right to advance and take over the earth?
Do humans deserve another chance?
Yeah, so that's like kind of like, and Proximus is coming at it, Caesar's coming at it from like more of like a manifest destiny kind of angle, where like it's like a pretty cool like debate, and it's like I can see where they're coming from, honestly. They have arguments. Yeah, well, the way they're coming from it is the problem.
A mad philosopher almost.
Yeah, basically. Which is like perfect for a character who's obsessed with ancient Rome. Like that's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think, they play with that. They play with the fact that like Proximus found a human scholar to read him things he wanted to read. And so the human scholar has a little line that says like, oh, he loves knowing about Roman history, which tells the audience that this ape, not knowing that there's a difference, has just been asking about Caesar and getting stories about Caesar from the books, and it's all just been Julius Caesar and the other Caesars after him too, and the many emperors of Rome who were named after Caesar, like Caligula and other people like that. There's some pretty terrifying people who had the name of Caesar throughout Rome. So It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense that he's like more brutal and like a good villain. His logic tracks all the way up into the point
Yeah.
of where he
Exactly.
disregards the lives of his people. That's always it goes. Like
The
he's like
one, like, thing.
it tracks all the way until he goes, and I don't care how many apes I have to kill to
You
get
have to
into that
kill.
vault.
Yeah.
And
'Cause he
then
says
it's
that.
like,
I think
boom,
he
that's
straight
where
up
it
says
goes,
that, right?
not a good
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But that's always the mark of a good villain. You know, it's where all the way up until they decide to destroy the world, it kind of makes sense. And then sometimes with Magneto, it still makes sense.
Yeah, true.
Personally,
Although you do get the notion that he's bad the moment he starts like the moment he's stealing apes from other clans. It's been like, all right,
yeah, like you know he's bad right away.
Yeah, but no.
But like when he's trying to win over the main character, his argument
Yeah.
is genuinely
Right.
alluring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they did. I don't know if they intended to, but they really made me hate the human characters. Kind of like
Yeah,
even
Yeah.
at their best,
No,
I
same.
still kind of hated all the human characters. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I think they did that on purpose.
The only good human character in this series has been in
The first one,
Dawn of the Planet
Yeah.
of the Apes. Dawn.
James Franco.
No,
Oh.
not James Franco. The second
I
one.
forget the guy's actress name.
Yeah, Joel.
He's
no,
the Gary Oldman's like second.
Oh
in command
yeah,
or whatever.
the one who
Yeah.
like
I
genuinely
forget his-
wants to like have peace between the two factions.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a
the
moment where
Terminator
like
Genesis dude.
yeah, I think at the very end they do the ape thing where they do like the heads, like they touch foreheads or
They
whatever.
touch foreheads. Yeah.
It's super. It's like very moving. Fucked up. In I guess in the graphic novel or whatever, that dude tries to go to Woody Harrelson's character, the general,
Heard about the.
and like be like, "Hey, Caesar's a good guy. Don't kill him." And this guy's like, "You ape sympathizer," and fucking kills him.
Whoa.
So he
I
just
mean,
goes,
that
"It's
tracks for Woody Harrelson's
It ju-
character. but
yeah.
it's-
Well, it tracks with the whole show, a series,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like everyone dies.
Bleak.
Everyone always
Like, no
dies,
returns.
yeah.
Like people mostly don't return for the next one.
Like Planet of the Apes, like I feel like they make this really interesting point of like they're very big on like if you do like doing the right thing takes sacrifice, and even after you've lost things because you did the right thing, it doesn't make it not the right thing anymore. It was still like the right thing to do. And like they kind of like try to show that with like Caesar's legacy is that like, you know, in the end it ended very tragically and bloody for Caesar, but his legacy and the things that he can inspire into the future are positive and like made a huge impact because of that. So it's like, yeah, I think that it's very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. It's like parallels to humanity.
Mhm.
But any closing thoughts?
Monkey.
KOPL. I don't know. OA. I think.
Capoda.
I don't know. Capoda.
It's
Well,
always
isn't it
Poda.
technically just CPA or KPA?
No, it's always
Other
Poda.
than
If
don't get
Poda's-
technically acronymized. Oh, POTA. Oh, yeah. President of the America.
Closing thoughts. It was good. I recommend checking it out. Good sequel bait, and yeah, good movie.
Gonna be a good trilogy,
Yeah.
honestly. Looks like a solid base for moving forward.
It's a good start, and I can't remember someone at the theater. It might have been you, Gibbledang, but someone was like, "I feel more excited for the next movie where this one left off." Maybe it was someone else, but it was just that's one thing I agree with. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a solid. I'm excited for movie 2 and maybe 3.
And they've got to have space in it soon. It's got to have, like, this one alludes
Hopefully.
to space so much.
Space monkeys,
It's coming.
Mhm.
It's coming.
spunkies.
Spunkies.
But speaking of Planet of the Apes, you know, for some odd reason, I have post-apocalyptic on my brain. Maybe because we live in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah,
currently in
true,
this
because we're
wasteland.
already in a dystopia.
Pre-apocalyptic this dystopia, baby.
But no, with Mad Max, Fallout, Planet of the Apes, all these dystopian post-apocalyptic movies, I kind of just thought maybe having like a, you know, discussion and do a little activity around that. But before we get to the activity,
Is it a
I'm kind of
book?
curious. Yeah, it's a Coen book.
Let's go.
Unfortunately, though, I only have the box that has like all the different browns. Well, I mean, which is good because then we get different complexions.
Oh,
but
all the
downside is
different
there's no red,
fleshes.
blue. Yeah, no red, blues, greens, or any of that. So,
That's all
sorry.
I need.
But no, I just had the thought of like, it's like, oh, it's fine. I'm a dog. I see everything in black and white anyway. It's
Yeah.
just, I got dog vision.
I only do art in sepia tones, so it's
Yeah, we're
literally
good.
right up my alley.
It's perfect. But before we get to the activity, actually, I wanted to kind of see and ask you all the question. And without getting specific examples, what do you like in post-apocalyptic stories? So without giving like specific like movie examples or shows or whatever, what are some things in post-apocalyptic storylines that you enjoy or do like seeing?
I definitely
This will kind of help with the activity.
I love seeing the reclamation of like nature that nature has on the world, and like
Okay.
whether or
That's a good
not
one.
it's like in oh I know, well I can't say, whether or not it's like a nuclear apocalypse or like just overgrowth. Like I think it's seeing that stuff is super cool.
Yeah. Like it could be even like in I Am Legend when the trees and stuff overtake New York, or like the way it did in Last of Us. Yeah, I'm totally there with you. That's it's always so much fun to see how each like world designs it.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's so true.
Sorry, Dala, did
No,
you
fair,
say
fair.
not to list specific like references, or did you say we could?
You can, I would just say, don't get too much into it and say like, I like.
Yeah, I just thought we weren't supposed to just say I like this world. It's just
Okay,
like
okay.
if you name something
I
that's
see
true
what you
across a bunch of stuff, I'm just
Yeah.
elucidating
I
that
wanna
that's
find-
true across a
okay,
bunch
okay.
of different things.
My goal right now is to find the baseline of what a good post-apocalyptic world is or storyline is. So for like me, for example, I love freaks, like weird creatures, mutants, shit like that. Anything that like
Something
Of
freaky.
course.
monsters.
Mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Results,
mutants.
a byproduct of the post-apocalypse.
Whatever apocalypse was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things that humans have to fight in like
Zombies.
these new. But I also do like the whole pathos of human versus human kind of level. Like it's like we're feral now, like components of that too. It's like those
Yeah.
are some storylines I like is in my post-apocalyptic stories. But yeah, I don't know if either of you want to add anything else regarding what makes a good dystopian post-apocalyptic before we jump into the.
I will say definitely one thing I definitely look for is like a good take or like a good commentary.
Mhm.
Like having a good angle
true.
on the concept of what would cause humanity's downfall. Because there's some times where people make those stories, but like the way it gets there isn't that well written. It can be a little shaky, but there's a ton of there's just as many, if not more, that have really interesting, thought-provoking lores that like kind of make very specific commentary on different parts of humanity. And that's like, I feel like if you're gonna tell a story like that's post-apocalyptic, you have to kind of say something. Because if you're saying nothing, it's like.
It's kind of like
It's like,
what's the
why are
point?
why even revisit whatever happens after humanity then?
True. Like where's the
But
hubris?
you got stories like Walking Dead that does that. Even Fallout, thinking of Fallout,
yeah.
Planet of the Apes, like it's all
Mhm.
it's everywhere. Funny enough, like I really like Mad Max, but I don't know so much.
Mhm.
Well, I haven't really seen the other movies.
Oh, you've not. Well, that's going to be unfortunate for this upcoming event.
I'll still
Just
win.
kidding. No, I'm just
Easy.
sure.
Um,
Yeah. I will win this activity that's not a game.
I feel like, well, maybe it's because I've only seen, the new Mad Max, Tom Hardy Mad Max.
Yeah.
They definitely feel like it doesn't matter about the apocalypse or whatever. It's just you're in that world. You know what I mean? You're just,
Mhm.
and then this is happening. You know what I mean? But in that case, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what the commentary is. It's just, that's just a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
It has
that make
commentary,
sense?
but it's not in the forefront. And I think it's like, that seems like a world to me, at least that movie, where it's like, we need the world to be like this for the storyline to be. Because I mean, I guess you could make it in modern day, but it'd be kind of weird to be like, I guess like they could chase each other. It just would be through a city, and it would just wouldn't. Yeah.
I think that it's
But
more
there's,
like
some
instead of like
commentary there. But
instead
yeah,
of
not
like
as much.
heavy-handed like moral commentary, it's much more just like it's just a general presentation of look at the depths of depravity that humans can descend to, but can also survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just inherent with almost any post-apocalyptic story is always
Right.
the hubris of man and what we've done to ourselves to get us to this scenario. But with all that being said, I thought for today's activity, it would be fun if we rank different post-apocalyptic worlds, or like media, I should say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
Can I? Oh my God, is that gonna be one of them?
I have 23 options, and we'll go through these, and then towards the end, I'll ask if you guys have any others that aren't here.
I see some good ones.
So we're just going to kind of go through and rank. So I have the ranks here. We have S tier, which is super mutant good. It's S tier, top tier. That's like what we want, the perfect.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like amazing apocalypse. Wait, and this is like the quality of this apocalyptic story's like entirety, like everything that goes into that universe's story.
Yes.
Of the
So the whole,
okay.
if any comment, if it's like, well, let's start off with, well, let me get through all the rankings, then we'll
Gotcha.
get to it. Yeah, sorry. Also, jumping ahead too much. Basically, then we have A rank, which is apocalyptic good. B, borderlands to good, kind of like the borderline to good.
Okay.
C, contaminated. D,
So it's
deserted.
iffy.
Yeah, and then F is like freak, like bad. But yeah, so
Okay.
let's get one of them out of the way that we've kind of talked a lot.
Who was that?
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what
Can you
was
take that again?
Yeah, so let's start off actually with one that we've talked about in quite a little bit already. Is the Planet of the Apes franchise
Oh,
as a
I love
whole.
the kiss. Okay.
Yep,
All right.
the kiss icons. And
Planet
so
of
I
the
think we'll
Apes
do
as a
majority
whole.
rules, kind of where, and all three of us will just kind of.
As a whole.
Yeah, I think just kind of
So
cooperative.
all of these are going to be as
Oh.
wholes, right? Like Mad Max franchise. You know, we're not just
Yeah.
doing
Yep.
So
specific.
it's
like,
new
okay.
and
Yeah.
old.
comics
That's-
show, like if it has comics, it has movies, spin-offs, all that.
S tier, baby.
S tier.
Planet of the Apes
For all-
S tier.
And I guess for listeners that don't know Planet of the Apes, I'm gonna go back to listen to our retrospective, but it's about us killing
I would
humanity being replaced by apes.
I would say A
I-
tier. I don't know if
yeah,
I
that's
could
what I was
commit to
thinking.
S. I don't know. I like Planet of
give
the
A.
Apes, but I don't know if I could commit it to S tier.
I think as a franchise, I like it, and it's like really good. I think as like an apocalyptic world, it's interesting, but it's kind of just like a repeat of humanity in a sense. And it's
Humanity.
it's got a
2.
story, but
It still
Yeah.
is it does still have the things that you defined, you know. It's got the folly of man, you know, the emergence of new cultures and
My
different
freaks with-
things because of that. Yeah. That's why I think
See,
it's
I feel
S
like
tier.
I feel like it's missing the extension into like in the freak zone, because like there's not a lot of crazy stuff. They're just monkeys. They're just
They got
monkeys that
super
talk.
mutants. They
So,
got super
They
They
do
did
have
have
telepathic,
they
but
did
they
have the
rarely
telepaths.
use
They do have the
telepathic super
telepaths. But they only feature that in like one movie out of all of them. Like I don't know. I got to hold solid with A. I feel like there's others that just go more with it, and I like them more.
All right, next one.
I think we'll start with that, and if we want to switch it around later, we can.
Yeah, true.
But number 2 I have is the 12 Monkey universe, which is basically the movie, and then there's like a show which I haven't seen.
I
For
haven't
12
seen.
Monkeys, it's basically the world. There was like a terrorist event that happened. World's in shambles. Bruce Willis gets sent in the past to prevent the terrorist action, but he got sent too far back, and then he gets placed in an insane asylum.
Yep.
It's a pretty solid movie. Terry Gilliam, I think, is the director. What are we thinking?
Sounds like a good movie. I haven't
So
seen it, so maybe B for
I-
good.
I've seen this movie. I've never been super hyped about this movie, honestly. I thought it was good.
Alright.
I thought at times it was like overly enigmatic and just like I don't know, like when it got into like the time looping thing and like the whole like this has already happened and like
More
Yeah.
time travel stuff.
the time travel stuff, and then like it reveals that like all of this, like his whole life is based off of this event he saw,
Spoilers. I haven't seen it.
I mean, that movie's been out for so long.
I don't care.
I haven't seen the show. Gosh.
I was waiting.
No.
Yeah, honestly,
I think
I would say this is like a C. Like, there's not a lot to it, but it does
Yeah.
like do one weird, creepy thing kind of well. It's like creepy time travel, and it's like
Yeah.
I feel like that it can't go low.
I agree. I haven't seen it in a minute. I used to like watch it I liked it. It's a good movie, solid. I think based on the post-apocalyptic component alone, too, where there isn't really much that we see in the post-apocalypse. It's more about
Exactly. It's mostly
being
back
in
in
the
time.
the 90s, and
Yeah.
I think I will put it in the contaminated C range because
Yeah,
I think
that's
like it's a
appropriate.
solid movie. It's fun. I think for the purpose of the post-apocalyptic component, it's not as pivotal.
Yeah, Dala.
And yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So see, it is. All right, next one we have is Le Walking Dead. This is both comic, show, spin-offs. Something I've not seen, to be fair, or read, to be fair.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
probably S
probably-
tier right there.
It's
S-tier?
it's hard
F-tier.
because it's I feel like it is probably going to be S tier, and it's hard for me because I can't be objective about it. I'm so particularly like over zombies as a whole that like now anytime I look at zombie based media, it's like it takes a lot for me to like actively like it. And
To be fair, honestly, when I was making this list, I almost made a tier or like a category that was just all zombie movies because I'm like, they're all, but I'm like, there's some good ones, there's some terrible ones. Let me like pick out a few.
I think what saves Walking Dead for me is the quality of the graphic novels.
Okay, fair. Y'all were saying S tier?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end up being S tier because I mean I watched the first like 5 seasons of the TV show and eventually dropped off. But I mean I still had a good time when I was watching. I just like I don't know. I think it really was just I got tired of zombies and it wasn't really on the show's fault. I just like literally just got tired of the idea and I needed other
the
things.
World's fault.
Yeah, the zombie
fair.
boom.
Yeah, the zombie boom
Yeah.
was rough.
Yeah, true. All right, so we have Walking Dead on Super Mutant Good. Next up on the chopping block, Le Fallout. Games, show,
Come
on.
other thing.
S tier.
Game.
That's S. Yeah, that's an
That's
immediate.
S
S tier. Wow.
Maybe
Yeah.
even like
Double
Yeah,
S
I would
tier.
agree.
double S. Yeah, or like
Double S.
or it almost makes me want to move like Walking Dead down to A
Everything
just
down.
to signify how much better Fallout is.
Mainly because I don't think anything else on this list has, maybe apart from Adventure Time, has had like a generational impact or like a pop culture impact, like looking at the way Fallout is right now. And you know,
It's like Fallout's been building this like cultural impact of being like the new wasteland, a post-apocalyptic like world. I feel like it used to be very Mad Max very much did have a stranglehold on that with like things like Mad Max and Terminator like in the 80s and 90s like, but then like now I feel like Fallout is there where it is just absolutely, it's just so good.
I'm surprised the show really is like taking a footing. And no, it's got my freaks. All my favorite freaks are there.
So many
Death
freaks and
Claws,
weirdos.
Ghouls,
Rad
the
scorpions.
storyline. I think being a video game too really just obvious. Like there's so much more interactivity that you're in the world itself. So that's why I was like, I agree.
Yeah.
I would put that as an S tier.
And then the show finally hit and it was killer.
And it's like, now that's why I'm like, now everyone's mom won't shut up about it.
Yeah, literally.
All right, next video game we're gonna talk about. Gears of War, baby. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of my top games. I love the style of it.
I
And
hate the
gameplay's
style of
fun as
them.
I was about to say this is the style
It's so-
this is the style of thing that I hate. It's just like that
hate-
hyper brutalist.
They look like Warhammer.
Like
Come on, they look like Warhammer
the,
characters.
if all the Warhammer characters were like the same, looked like exactly the same and had the same stuff, like it's like the beauty about the Warhammer is that it's like everybody paints their things different.
See, for
Like,
me,
I don't know.
all the characters are different. But go on.
I don't know. I didn't play it
for
enough
me
to be sure.
that dips entirely into
Yeah.
a different category of like space marine shooter, alien killing fucking thing. But I know that they're
But
like
it's neither of those.
I know that it
It's the
is, but
thing.
it's like it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I feel like that just dips into a whole other kind of. It almost jumps over the post-apocalypse kind of thing into like a different.
Even though obviously you haven't played the
is.
games.
Yeah, I'm putting an F.
Yeah, I've only ever played
put
multiplayer
an
Gears
F.
of War. It's hard to judge because of that because I haven't played the storyline.
Uh-huh.
But in terms
No,
of just like
fair.
the vibes of a post-apocalyptic world,
F.
It's like, because this makes me just think more
I
just
get it.
sci-fi alien fighter.
Yeah.
I would still say D, because I still think it has, I would say C. Honestly, it has redeeming qualities, and I had a lot of fun playing it still in the multiplayer. It's just like the lore wasn't the thing I was playing it for. I was playing it for the chainsaw gun.
Fair. I will say, like, it is not what I think of when I think post-apocalyptic, but it very much is, especially by the time, because so this is what I love about Gear. I'm gonna put it in the D tier. I think to average it out.
Okay.
From F to C.
That makes
D,
sense.
Whatever. Yeah, but
Not really.
I love the creature designs. I love the weapons are fun. The way that you play the game's fun. But the storyline's actually like really interesting to me, that it's like they're not aliens from space. They're basically creatures from underground coming up and causing this like and then you find out later there's creatures that are causing those creatures to come up because they're getting fucked over by a disease that's like causing essentially explosive zombies.
So these are
And
subterranean races that are coming to fight humanity.
It's
Subterraneans.
cool to me. Yeah.
Subterraneans.
I think I love too is like each game you just see the world get more fucked up as it goes, and by the third game it's like they're living on like boats in the water because there's like they flooded the earth, like a lot of it, and it's cool. It's not the most like tear-jerking story and not the most like meaningful like storyline, but it is fun as hell to me. And then just like I said, all the things are really intriguing and different. I see.
That's fair.
You don't say no until you've played them. I love it.
You haven't played the story. You can't say.
Nah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I say D's
Next
perfect.
one up is. That's why I was like, oh, I will agree that the post-apocalyptic. It is a post-apocalyptic world, but it is not what I like would first jump to, especially compared to like Fallout or something.
Yeah, it's just not an iconic one.
But yeah, next up is Akira, the anime movie.
That's a good one. That's a
it's
really
interesting
good one.
because my argument initially was like not including it because it's more of like a dystopia than a post-apocalyptic. But in the intro, it says in a post-apocalyptic Neo Tokyo. So I'm like, all right, counts.
Yeah.
If they say it, they say
That's
it.
true.
You know?
That's true. It's like everything outside of Neo Tokyo was like destroyed. So
Yeah.
If it
Yeah,
counts,
that's like
then
the
it's
only
S
thing
tier.
remaining.
It's gotta be.
Okay. We put in.
I would
See,
only put it at like B, mainly
A or B,
because
I
of
would
like,
say. The
yeah,
post-apocalyptic component of it isn't on the forefront.
isn't on the forefront exactly. It's like it's much more like very much like sci-fi, like just a monumental sci-fi horror for me. But like it's also like I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like
it's an
there's
S tier movie, but it's like for this category, it's different. It's
Maybe
not
an
that
A. Put it in the A.
I would
Put it in your
accept an A. I would accept an A.
Okay.
I think it's just like it's also just because of lack of like expansion. It's like some of these other things are so big and so fleshed out
Also
that like
true, yeah.
comparatively Akira very much is not. So
Yeah, there's the comic and then the movie. And
Exactly.
that's probably it. Maybe a video game. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure. At least not a lot that's mainstream.
No, yeah.
To know
Those are
about,
pretty
so.
straightforward.
The manu.
So this
A
next
for
one is-
Akira.
Yeah, for the 2 A's it already has. That's why Planet of the Apes got P, right? P rank.
P for Pooperino. For P.
This next one, I think, is like movie only I have seen.
Me, Bender. Sorry, go on.
Oh, you're good. So I'll give y'all a chance to talk, and if not, if you haven't seen this movie, I will describe it, and then you can rank it. But this is Night of the Comet, the movie Night of the Comet.
I don't know that at all. So
Okay. So here is the rundown of the plot. It's set in the 80s. A comet, I think kind of Halley's Comet, essentially, passes by Earth, which causes the majority of the Earth population to turn into either dust or cannibal zombie-ish people. We follow 3 20 to 30-year-old teenagers as they adapt to the new world and uncover the mystery of the extinction event. It's a fun 80s movie. It's essentially one of those ones where it's like the last people on Earth kind of storyline, but there's like cannibalistic zombie people. It's fun. It's a fun, good one, in my opinion. But I'm curious, what would y'all throw this knowing nothing about it.
The movie I haven't seen that you just told me about.
Haven't seen
yeah.
it. It has to do with zombies.
Probably gonna have to
F-
put it in
F tier.
S tier. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna
S
be
tier, okay.
That's definitely gonna be an F for freak for me, because if it's just a miscellaneous zombie movie, it's exactly the movie I would never want to watch. So
It is not. It is not a zombie movie, in my opinion. Even
I
though
thought
it's sometimes
didn't you
listed.
just use the word
There's
zombie to
cannibalistic zombie-ish.
Okay.
There's like 2 zombies in the
Okay.
movie. That's why I'm like, I don't consider it. I'll throw it
Just-
in a D.
I would say you can
I
go ahead
think
and rank
it's-
it wherever you wish, because you're the only one who's seen it.
Seen it. Fair.
Yeah, a
No,
lot
I
of
just like
this
throwing
is in
something
your
in
own
these.
opinion. Well, in my opinion, this should be on the list.
Well, yeah, I was like I'm throwing on stuff I like.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
some of
I'm
this stuff
see-
I haven't even seen.
I'm looking at a picture
So.
of Bryan Singer right now, and I'm just wondering why the
Sure.
fuck that's there.
Well, do you want to know why? Hold on, because we're going to talk about The Road. Post-apocalyptic movie, The Road.
The Road.
Jesus Christ. See, this
One
is a
that I have
damn-
not seen.
It's a damn good one. It's just like it's so bleak, and it's not. It's just a real post-apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic
Movie.
kind of movie.
Yeah, no
Damn, it's
sci-fi,
really
no
depressing.
fantasy.
Yeah,
Just
it's
straightforward. Okay.
I'll put it. I would honestly say S, just in the sense that it's very realistic, and it's like, yo, this is what it would be like if you were in something like this.
Yeah.
No, that's a great one. If not S, then
It's
A.
like it's about like a guy trying to take his boy like some across the nation or something, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like is the plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say
Gotcha.
I'll say S for realism.
S for real.
I say B for realism.
Ooh. B for realism.
Like for me, the realism is kind of like that's kind of a mark against it, because like I don't know, like I feel like if I'm going into a post-apocalyptic world, I would like at least some pizzazz and some
A little
some
sci-fi.
design and something. Yeah, if it's all just gonna be
So,
in
yeah.
the woods and gray, and I'm just gonna like.
No freaks for me.
Not
to like.
exactly. There's no freaks. Not a freak in sight.
Mm.
Yeah, see, not my cup of tea.
I'll take the average and put it in the A. I think that sounds because of the S to B.
I
So.
feel like that's still
I think
pretty
too high.
presumptuous for The Road.
Fair.
Among
I haven't seen it, so I
all
can't.
Of these other ones, we're gonna give The Road an A.
I mean, do you guys can duke it out?
I read
because
I
I
read
have
the
not
book
seen it.
too. I read the book it's based
Ooh.
on. Yeah,
Oh, that's right. It's on a book.
It's very popular among Christian Bible studies.
Oh,
So
fucking course sick.
my whole family has.
That means
read
it's an
that
S. What are you
book.
talking about? Shit, you didn't tell me about this Bible part. S
So-
for the Lord. I mean, I'll throw in an A just for the average.
All right.
Sorry.
All
Next up, we
right.
have Le Samurai Jack. He travels back in the past to play shitty games that suck ass.
S done.
No, to fight.
I don't know.
S?
I feel like that's more dystopia too. Like same thing with Akira.
Yeah, that's one thing I was kind of on the fence about including it initially.
I feel like that one
Um,
feels very post-apocalyptic just because he's trying to prevent the future
Mhm.
and like prevent like I guess that's it's a little hard because it's not the
But
world's
it's-
ending; it's the world
Yeah.
changing for the
Just
worse,
change it to shit.
being
Yeah.
taken over. So is
Plus-
is conquering an apocalypse?
I feel like a lot of
So
that
some-
series takes place like in the past and different time periods, so it's not like
I'm hearing F tier, something.
post-apocalypse. Yeah, no.
True, it's mostly that's true. It's mostly like a time. It's not an F, but it's
Time travel.
mostly.
I know,
It's
I'm
mostly
joking.
like a. It's a time show. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it is.
I mean,
very-
I
it
guess
is,
that would be
like,
the
more
same-
sci-fi first before it is apocalypse.
Mhm.
That'd be similar to 12 Monkeys, I feel, in regards to like it's taking more place in like the present than it is in the apocalyptic future.
Yeah, I want to give it an
seems-
S just because it's so goddamn cool.
It's yeah,
I
but
really
based
love
on the
Samurai Jack.
post-apocalyptic component.
I would say it's at least a B.
I'd
B?
say C. I think C is nice. I think it's very fair.
yeah, I was gonna say it's,
That
I
feels
think
bad.
we'll do majority rules.
Feels
Sorry.
terrible. Feels
Nothing's on the
terrible to
B
see
rank.
Samurai Jack next to the movie 12 Monkeys.
Good.
But it's
glad
based
it
on
feels terrible.
post-apocalyptic. All right, Gibbledang, I know you've been waiting for this with bated breath. We have X-Men Days of Futures Past. Both the movie and or comic.
The movie
Which is actually
and the
very
comic?
fitting. Movie, comic, whichever,
Like just
based
the
on,
whole
like, both
continuity,
and
the whole story.
I'm gonna
yeah,
do
the
B.
storyline.
B for Borderlands. Good.
I'd agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
mainly 'cause
okay.
A majority of that is also taking place in the past.
In the past. But that's definitely an apocalypse though. Like
Yeah,
that is
true.
that is like the
Well,
world that they're trying to prevent's
Age-
crazy.
The Age of Apocalypse
Mhm.
comic, if that was on.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a good one to throw in too.
They
Actually,
both are.
But I wouldn't have a reason to put a picture of Bryan Singer in the B category otherwise. And this is probably the one and only time he's ever been there.
B
So
for Brian.
yeah,
A for
Brian.
Akira. C for Chamurai Jack. Anyways.
Yeah. We're getting pretty good. Actually, going through this like somewhat quick. Actually,
Is that
Didn't
the...
expect to get through this many.
It's A Quiet Place, isn't it?
Yep. We have Jim from The Office in Le Quiet Place. You know, there's a
I was
new
like, is that...
was it
wait.
Loud Place? So how we feeling on Quiet Place?
C.
You know, the movies, the upcoming one as well, going to theaters now.
I think
You
in
got a C from
terms of...
Gibbledang?
I gotta say D, honestly. In terms of just
A D.
how
Then yeah,
like
fine, D.
how bitter like their lack of like of reason and like logic in their world design and like apocalypse design is, like, it just makes me feel so bitter towards it. I've seen
Yeah.
both of the movies and I still want to go see the prequel because the thing that doesn't give them an F is they design a cool looking monster and I like seeing it kill people. And so just
alright.
because of that, it's not an F because they got a freak.
They
So
do have
it's
the freak.
but
yeah,
the,
D is perfect.
the rest
It's
of it just does not hold up. It just doesn't
The
make
moment-
any sense.
Yeah, the moment you start breaking that movie down, it's like, oh wait, how do any of these people? How did the whole world end? How did the whole fucking world end?
And like
what? Yeah, wait,
doesn't
what?
make
Like
sense.
breaking it down.
and like the fact
So
that
once you
like
start questioning,
no like characters don't make decisions that anybody else would make. They do things that like you like that they need to happen so that the movie can happen. And it's like every time it happens, you're just like, oh, why? What?
it's like stop being stupid.
The very
My
premise
favorite-
right from the beginning, the fact they're still just on a farmhouse and have taken no precautions to move somewhere safer, crazy to me.
my favorite bit is the fact that Jim in his like underground or basement office thing, he's got like a board, like a whiteboard with a bunch of notes on it, and he's written down like, what is the cure, and he's like circled in, underlined. the fucking-
And it says
Or
like,
what is
in
their
a corner it
weakness?
just says like sound question
Yeah,
mark
sound
question.
question. It's like, why would you write this down, dude?
The visual storytelling was the visual storytelling is just super heavy handed. Like,
On the
which I mean, like,
nose.
I guess it has to be because the whole point is they're not talking, but like,
There's ways around that.
you don't have to
though.
be that
Yeah,
obvious.
Yeah. I guess the problem is you have to go simple enough that people that can barely read can follow along with the hell's going. So that's why people that can read well, it's like. But all right, I haven't
Yeah,
seen them,
what's
so
the-
I'm in the deed.
What's the next one?
Up next, we have Fist of the North Star with Kenshiro, the anime, the one that was inspired heavily by Mad Max.
Very
I think one of the-
prolific
like-
anime.
Yeah,
One of
it's
the
like
shots.
one of the first shonen.
Yeah, it inspired a lot of different animes across the years.
Essentially, the plot is this gentleman Kenshiro goes around the wasteland and just kind of fights people
Yeah.
to save the poor, and he has like this sick ass kung fu where he does like pressure points and causes people to explode.
Yeah, he has these giant like
Yeah, it
these
sounds
huge
I think I know where
specialty
I would place
punches.
but I'm curious where y'all would place it.
I haven't seen it, but A for anime.
Sure.
I'd
That's
say
literally
A for
all I was
anime
thinking.
sounds
A.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also like in terms of like inspiring other animes and inspiring
Yeah.
other animes that also turn out to be apocalyptic too. It's like this is a big one. I kind of wish I don't know. You might not know about the show, but I don't know if you've heard of Scried, another like apocalyptic anime that is absolutely worth looking at if you're ever interested.
I'll have to check it out.
basically involves people who who can manipulate matter itself. It can just literally break down matter and reform it, but they can only ever reform it into one thing, and like that's their thing. It's like they can just make that thing instantaneously. But yeah, it's just like it's the whole entire world. It's like the whole entire story is post-apocalyptic after a huge meteors hit the Earth, and the radiation from these meteors is what made some of the survivors start having powers.
Oh shit, that's like Scried or Scribe?
Yeah, Scried. Scried.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool because I love me some Kenshiro, Fist of the North Star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scried is a very similar vibe of like of the wastes and like the post-apocalyptic lands.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I'll check that. I mean, where would you throw that and Scried on this list? Actually, since we're on the topic of that, since I don't have it on here.
If I were to put Scried on the list, I mean, it still would probably be like a B or C, just because of the fact that like they focus a lot on the futurism part of it. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
But still, like B or C,
like solid.
Like honestly, it would probably sit right
solid.
next to Samurai Jack.
Just they can have a beer together.
Really, really awesome, really raw, really cool to watch. But very focused on the powers because it's an anime.
Oh, fair. All right. This next one is something I've seen as a recommendation from Lag9K. So this one's more for Lag9K. And I don't know if have either of you seen The Quiet Earth?
No.
No, I don't think so.
All
Quiet
right.
Earth. Mm-mm.
A quick rundown. It's another one of those Last Man on Earth storylines, but then he runs into like two other people. And it's very much like a mystery of like what happened and like... eventually he runs into two people and it turns into like a poly like relationship. Interestingly,
what?
in the
Poly, I see.
like polyamorous.
I see.
But I will throw. I wanted to throw on for Lag K's purpose. If he listens to this, let me know where you're gonna put it, Lag K, as I'm gonna put it in a C.
You said it's called The Quiet Earth?
Yeah, it doesn't literally turn into a polyamorous relationship, but like to me the vibes were very much like pro polyamorous, like funny enough to me.
1985.
I don't know if it's on there. I hope Last Man on Earth isn't on there, right?
No, I almost put it on the Will Forte one, right?
Yeah, have you guys seen it?
I seen season 1 back in I think part of season 2. That one I remember being funny, but I hadn't seen it in so long, so I was like, I can't remember.
Oh God,
I remember liking it. Where'd you put it?
I would put that one at B. I would put it at B, because I did fall off.
Okay.
But I think I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons. But yeah, The Last Man on Earth. Just a quick rundown. It's about Will Forte, who is the last man on Earth. And he has like a bunch of, in the opening episode, he's got a bunch of like tennis balls, basketballs, like with faces on them, like Wilson, but a bunch of them, like they're all his friends.
That's amazing.
And he's driving around America Wilson! In like this big tour bus. I think it's like the president's tour bus or some shit. Like he has the Declaration of Independence, like shit like that.
Because why not?
yeah. No, it's very much like, why wouldn't you do these kinds of things?
He's about to kill himself because he's just like, all right, this is it. Like, there's no one else. And the moment he does, he sees like a fire in the distance. He's like, oh my God, like there's someone like making a campfire. And he goes and he runs into Kristen Shaw, who turns out is the last woman on Earth. And he's like completely elated. He's like, oh my God. And immediately he's like, so can we like repopulate the Earth? And she's like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to get to know you first. Like, we have to go on a couple of dates. Like,
Like, still holding up these like high standards. I mean, like, she should. But yeah, it's just funny.
So they go on a couple dates. He really has to like give it his all and like win her over. And she's like, well, okay, yeah, I'd have sex with you if we were married. And
I was gonna say they don't get married.
he's so I mean, obviously
that's
he's lonely.
so funny.
He's like,
oh
fine, yes, we'll get married. And she's like, he doesn't like her the whole time. He's like, oh, fine, yes, fuck, we'll get married. They get married, and I think on the way back to them driving back to like their fucking house that they took over, they get into a car accident with another car, and this hot woman comes out.
January Jones comes out
and
smoking hot.
She's like, immediately she's like, oh my god, another man, thank God. And Will Forte's it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
it was.
I think they become like neighbors too,
That's
right?
so
And, like,
funny.
become
Oh my
neighbors.
god.
In a couple seasons, or over
That's
over a
amazing.
couple seasons, they find more people. I think they start to unravel what happened to the Earth, this and that. I think it might have gotten canceled before it finished up.
like figure it out. Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, that's one
That's
thing
why
I
it's-
like is like when they don't give you what happens. Sometimes depends on what the like story is. Like I love a zombie movie where you never find out, or like that's I guess to jump back to Quiet Earth. That's one thing I like is that slowly you find the protagonist finds out that he's like, oh, I caused this like shit, and then so he tries to rectify the like thing by saving the it's cool. Like I said, Lag 9K recommended it. It's solid. Also check out The Last Man. It's probably on like Hulu or something, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch that because anyways. Yeah, I was gonna say. Actually, we have a good one. I
What
think.
was the next one?
Adventure Time.
Yes.
The kids show.
That's gotta be S tier.
Yeah.
No shit. Okay, that's unanimous. Wow.
S tier.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolute
Yeah.
S tier. Adventure Time is one of the most interesting like takes on post-apocalyptic. I've seen it in a long time. It is genuinely like so refreshing and so fun to like learn about the things that they put into their lore, and like when they reveal that the 4 elements that govern their universe are fire, ice, candy, and slime.
nice.
It's
It's funny enough. I feel like because like I don't really, I haven't seen. I've only seen one episode of that show. But whenever people tell me, like, talk to me about it or tell me about it, the one thing that they're always like elates them, or I don't know if elate or makes them like just brightens them up, is like,
Ooh, I'm elated.
they're like, dude, it's like post-apocalyptic too. Like that's the one thing everyone always mentions right off the bat. Like they're like, it's so crazy. It's a post-apocalyptic world.
It's like one of those trivia night like trivias. It's like, oh, like did you know? Because it's like that's what I was gonna say. I like is it's kind of subtly like a post-apocalyptic if you just watch random episodes and not really.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's like you have to really look underneath, and it's just a funny show. It's got a bunch of freaks, as I love to see.
It's a post-apocalyptic show that doesn't actually tackle a lot about like why the world ended. It goes over it and you get to learn about it, but like that's not really wrapped up in the main moral messages of the show, because the main moral messages of the show are still about like what's happening now, like in the post-apocalyptic world, and like how Finn is having to like learn what it means to be human in a world where there are no humans, and like having to like discover his own humanity through non-human interactions. And yeah, it's also such a beautiful story about how an idealistic, kind of like ready for rough and tumble violence kid learns sensitivity and like learns how to like live his life with like peace instead of always through aggression. And it's so well done because you would never look at Finn's character and think like this is an aggressive, like violent person, and then they basically break it down later on. Like they break it down throughout the show about like tendencies towards like good violence, quote unquote, is still a tendency towards violence.
No, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
just so intriguing. Has made me cry so many times. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful story. It's one I really need to get into, but I just haven't. I don't know, so much of it.
It's worth getting to the end too, though. If you're ever looking to get through something, like it is really worth putting the time into.
How many seasons is it? Do you know?
6, I believe. No.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Probably more.
I think more.
No worries. In the meantime,
Yes.
this next one I included because I wanted to do another comic book post-apocalyptic world. I don't think either of you have read this storyline, but let me know. Have either of you read Wonder Woman Dead Earth?
No. Can't say I have.
Daniel Warren Johnson. Beautiful art. It's a
January.
great story. It's basically
January. Yeah.
January Jones drew it. No. Basically, just I'll do a quick little. It's Wonder Woman wakes up. She's in like the post-apocalyptic. Like it's literally like a dead Earth. I think the only things alive outside of her are like mutant humanoid creatures that are like Cronenberg, like The Thing, like John Carpenter's The Thing looking motherfuckers.
Mhm.
It has one of my favorite like just little, I don't know, like scenes or whatever, or like weapons where Wonder Woman goes, she finds Superman because she's like, let me find the hero. Superman's a skeleton on his throne in the Fortress of Solitude. And so she takes his spine and his skull and infuses it with her whip to make it like a powerful, because his bones are indestructible.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just a really cool like somber story. I think it'll be like sad, kind of like The Road, but it has like this art style of like a dark adventure time in a sense.
I'm looking at it, some
that
pics of
being
it
said,
right now. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's great art. Just like I said, fun, like interesting story and kind of like somber, kind of hopeful. But all that being said, I'll just throw that next to Bryan Singer. You know, I'm just in the B's here because I think it's a pretty solid. I think it's one where it's like I would love to see more of that universe, but there's just like 3 issues. But yeah, so the next one that I'm sure both of y'all have some feedback is The Last of Us. Video games, show.
Probably
Comic
A
book.
tier. Well, maybe S tier just for like cultural relevancy.
I'm gonna say S
It's
tier
hard.
because it's one of the few zombie like stories that I think like did a really nice revamp on it that I really appreciated.
Oh, definitely.
I think the whole fungus, the zombie fungus
Yeah.
take on it, you know, it required it to be a lot like even more like fantasy and sci-fi, but even then I think it improves the post-apocalyptic feel a lot when you have like those roving like monsters where
Clickers.
and then like how like if they were to keep making Last of Us games, like they would still like keep introducing more ways that the mushrooms evolve into new things. So I think it's definitely an S tier.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, funny. I was gonna say A, but I'm like, yeah, I'm down with this. Honestly, I think funny enough though, Last of Us for me, it's very much like come for the clickers and stay for the humans. Because to me, the most like invigorating part was like, oh, there's humans and they actually are fucking scarier than the like clickers to an extent. Because it's like, you know, like you meet and like genuinely you meet people and you're like, I don't know if this is going to be an enemy or a fight that's going to break out after this cutscene, or if this is like someone that's helpful. It's a great like the human story, and
the clickers serve like
aesthetics
as
great.
like an extension of like the force of nature.
Yeah,
and it's like
exactly. Yeah,
whereas like the
they
real
even take over,
interpersonal
like,
conflict is between the people,
the humans, and how to survive with this new like disease or thing going on. Because I was gonna say, even the clickers, don't they get like molded into the ground after some time? Like they get like fused to wherever they like.
eventually they basically become full mushroom plants. Like it's like I think that's inevitable, like the same way that like the zombies inevitably like melt and break down.
True. Yeah. All right, let's keep this dystopian future thing going with Stephen King's The Stand. Something I've not seen, but I kind of got the understanding of. Have either of y'all seen this or no?
No, I know that it's critically acclaimed, but I don't know anything about it.
Let me read a little rundown that I typed up, or that I got from the wikis. The plot centers on a deadly pandemic of weaponized influenza and its aftermath, in which the few surviving humans gather into factions that are each led by a personification of either good or evil and seem fated to clash with each other. King stated that writing the story, that he wanted to make an epic like Lord of the Rings, but the book was difficult for him to write because of the large number of characters and storylines. So to me that sounds like annoying. The amount of characters that you have to keep track of. I think the whole undertone of like Jesus versus devil component is gonna bring it down for me, because that's like a big component of it, kind of. Not Jesus particular, but like good versus evil.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm.
What do y'all feeling?
I'm looking
I
at
have
it
no
real quick.
attachment.
Like
I have no real attachment to it. I haven't seen it.
Same. I mean, I've seen clips, but yeah. Moon. That spells
Yeah, let's say
D tier.
I would. Yeah, I think D
Yeah.
tier is probably good. Honestly, also in terms of like the design of its apocalypse, very bland. Very like, oh, the government, like somebody was working on a virus and the virus got out, and now
Oh,
Yeah.
like.
fucking yabu dabu.
It's like your
And it was even
typical-
like an avian. They even called it like an avian virus, and it was like, so it's like they just made it. We're like, oh, what if bird flu actually was bad? It's like
I
okay.
mean, have you seen it?
it's pretty bad, but
don't
I guess
know.
this is worse. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I finally realized what one of these pictures is down here, and I'm glad it's on this list. I made a note of it because
Oh.
I was gonna mention it later,
Nice.
but never mind.
No, that's why I was like earlier. I was like, don't go too much into any particular franchise because I don't want to be like bury the lead, you know.
Yeah.
But the movie you're talking about, I assume, is Doomsday, right? The 2008 movie Doomsday, in which it's like a post-apocalyptic Scotland and everyone's quarantined, and it's like basically Mad Max versus like knights, Celtic knights. That's the movie you're talking about, right?
No,
I don't
because
know if
now
I've
I
seen
need
this,
to see
but-
this movie at any cost. Excuse me.
Oh, it's
It's
not
Dala's
good.
favorite
in my
movie,
opinion.
if I recall.
Yeah.
This sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
D for Doomsday. Honestly, okay. My experience with this movie. I'm gonna give a short story. As a dumb kid, when it was in theaters, I wanted to go see it. I didn't tell my brother, and I wasn't old enough to go see it if it's rated R. So, but my brother was with me, and so we snuck in. We got like drill bit Taylor tickets instead, and then we were like, "Fuck it, let's just sneak in." We got kicked out halfway through the movie. I'm like, "Fuck," because I never finished it. And then one day when it was coming out on Blu-ray, I bought it, finished it because I was like, I really wanted to know what the hell happened. And I was like, damn, that sucked. That fucking I waited like a year for this bullshit. I think it's funny enough, I think on Blu-ray it came out the same day Soul Calibur 4 came out, because I remember getting that and being like, playing that and be like, that movie sucked. What the fuck? It's a good idea. It's interesting. It looks, the way it looks is like is if Wes Anderson, the Resident Evil guy, or not Wes Anderson, Paul W.S. Anderson. Is it Paul Anderson? Paul W.S. Anderson?
Paul
The guy that did the
W.S.
Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wes Anderson. No, if he did it looks like a movie he
Was
would do,
Linus
basically.
Andersonius?
Yeah. I don't know about y'all. I would throw it in the F tier just because it's a freak to me.
F for freak that
Alright.
I'm gonna watch because that sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
Hey, if you want to watch it, I have it on Blu-ray. I'm down.
Oh, fuck
I still
yeah.
have it. So
down. Very.
we're getting close to the end. I think we have 5 left of these, the ones I've selected. The next up we have is the Hunger Games franchise.
S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier.
Districts.
Now, personally, I've never
Not a
seen
D for
any
district.
single one of them, but I think that they're on the S tier.
Watched all the.
They're a good
I
joke.
watched the movies. Didn't read the books. Still a solid like. Okay, so joking aside, they
Mhm.
wouldn't be S tier because the world when you look at it and how much it makes sense makes like 0 sense. But I am a big fan of anything that is like that's main message is like, oh, the people that make up the United States are actually terrible, and if this broke down into new governments, it would be really bad for us because the oligarchies would fuck everyone. So I like that part
S
a
tier.
lot. So
Sure.
Yeah. So there you have
However-
it.
What do we fill in?
like no freaks.
Freaks?
There's a freak in there. Her name is Jennifer Lawrence.
Like no freaks.
Jennifer Lawrence is a
Yeah,
freak.
there's no.
Jennifer Lawrence is a freak.
Yeah, but
Not
that's
my kinda
different.
freak.
She's like freaky. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
just because
yeah.
she's in that new movie where she like tries to like date rape a 19-year-old or something. But
Jesus.
I swear that's what the movie's about.
That
I'm
sure it is. No,
I
I'm-
promise.
let's-
Just look it up.
Jesus.
I promise. So
My gosh, what a choice.
What's the current one?
wait, are you gonna put it in F? No. I'm gonna say put it in like.
Oh, I thought you said
No, I was
put it
saying
in
my
F. I was like, sure.
my critique was that it had no
I said-
freaks. So it can't be S.
Oh, that's why I was like.
I was saying
yeah,
just
yeah.
not S tier because it
Can't
has
be,
no
yeah.
freaks. So like automatically, if there's no freaks at all, I think it's got to go
Yeah.
to A.
You're gonna say A
'Cause it's still-
I was gonna put lower. I mean, I don't know as much as.
I mean,
you
I'd be fine
probably
with
in
B.
regards
I
to
still
it, but-
think it's still like a pretty solid universe. Has really good messages to it.
Yeah, fair.
The love
It,
triangle
it doesn't stick out to me as post-apocalyptic, and like you said, the stuff I do know, I feel like it's just like it's kind of dumb. It's like the fucking Purge or something.
Oh,
you know?
actually, yeah, it's
it's
not.
like it's a dumb idea.
It's like not a post-apocalyptic. It's just dystopian.
Is there not like a post-apocalyptic?
I don't
event?
think there's an event. No, it's just dystopian.
Oh, okay. Well, when I googled it, it
Is it
came
a
up on a list. So
really?
F tier,
I
guess.
think that must be a book thing you have to know about.
Maybe, or it could have just been a list where it's like dystopian and post-apocalyptic, they're the same, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of overlap, but no. I mean, I guess we'll throw an F for that.
Yeah, we'll throw it down there.
Okay, all right. We have 4 more. Next up, we have Commandy, The Last Boy on Earth comic book by Jack Kirby. Little fun fact is initially it was going to be DC Comics wanted to do Planet of the Apes comics back in the 70s. However, Marvel got the license, so Jack Kirby made his own, where it's very similar. Character wakes up he's like born in the world, I think. Post-apocalyptic. He gets his name from the place he lives called Command D, like Command Base D, hence his name Commandy.
Okay.
It looks like fun art. It's got like mutant dog people, wolf people, monkey people. It very much looks like a Planet of the Apes ripoff, but like different too. Not knowing anything really of it, I would probably throw it in a C just because I don't really know much about it, but it I cool.
I guess same.
Yeah, I guess
Same,
I think
don't
that'd
know.
be fine. It
I've
does look
never heard
very
of this thing.
interesting.
I wanted to make sure to include some comic books. That's all, and that was one. I want to read it. All right. Speaking of comic books, 28 Days Later.
Oh,
Where are we throwing that bad boy?
I
And
like
28
that zombie story.
Months and years.
It's
a good one. That's one of the good ones.
I think it's hard because it's a really good one, and I think either A or B. Only B because we haven't seen the post-apocalypse yet.
Yeah,
It's
It's
all
just-
been pre.
Yeah,
It's not even
current
dystopian.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, we will in 28 years later, I imagine. I would hope.
Yeah, I would say
Might be long enough.
I would say B or A. Yeah, I think that's very accurate.
Yeah.
I
think
love
B.
the first movie.
Yeah.
So good, just so
Oh,
good.
so good, yeah.
God.
If this was zombie movie, it would be like, or a zombie tier. This would be S, no problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the,
That was-
if the movie was bad.
That was my first zombie movie I ever saw, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was 13
Thanks,
days
nice.
later.
Yeah, no, it was. So you mean 28?
Or sorry, 20. I said 13 on accident. I don't know
13
why.
days
I
later.
was like-
13 ghosts
I
later.
saw.
Actually, I think I might be thinking
Gotcha.
of 13 going on 30. I think that might.
Yeah, I
be my
think
favorite.
that's a zombie movie, right?
That's the one where
There's
yeah,
a
he
zombie
wakes up
in it,
and
Jennifer Garner.
he's 30, but his dick is out, right? I think is the thing.
Yeah, it is 30 inches long.
that he date rapes a
And Gym Leader
19-year-old.
Nate.
Yeah, no, that's Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, yeah,
only,
yeah.
Actually,
That's just her.
it's
that only,
exclusive right. She has exclusive rights to that.
Yeah. All right, Gym Leader Nate. We have the one you've probably been waiting for all day.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me what that is, or tell us what that is?
Yeah. Why the Last Man?
Yup.
The
show
the
only,
show of
not the
the show
comic.
of which featuring Gibbledang's doppelganger.
Oh, nice. That is.
Gibbledanger.
But
the
but the
Gibbledanger.
comic and the show. Would you like to do a quick plot breakdown of like the general synopsis, Gym Leader
Oh
Nate?
yeah, so Why the Last Man? Fascinating story about a nice what if of what if every single living thing on Earth that had a Y chromosome died at the exact same time, and what would happen to society, and what would happen to the people who were left, and how would people keep going? And it's very interesting. It does center around the only man who lives, which is his name's Yorick, and
Hence the name.
With
Y,
a
the
Y.
man.
Y, you know,
And the chromosome.
the chromosome, and Y for Yorick.
And his favorite color is yellow.
And it's funny because Yorick is famously a character who is the most famous scene featuring Yorick. He is dead in Macbeth. He is a skull, and so the only living man is the one who's named after a skeleton in Macbeth.
Yeah.
And then and his monkey Ampersand is also the only other male creature to have survived this devastating event.
Yeah. Plays with gender a lot and like society.
Lots of
roles
comments on
and
gender.
such.
Like
So F tier.
F tier
I'm just kidding.
immediately.
I'm just kidding.
Only women. F tier.
No.
Automatically passes the Bechdel test. No.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say,
B
I
or
personally would put A because I stand.
That's literally what I was
I
thinking.
stand by. No freaks. Can't be S. So
Fair. It's a very It's much like The Road, where it's almost like just real life. What would happen almost?
yeah, just after one big sci-fi thing.
Yeah. I don't know, Gibbledang, if you have anything you want to share regarding a thing you haven't read.
Haven't read it. Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I own this.
Don't watch
I
it,
own this
read
entire
it.
one in paper graphic novel format.
Same.
If you guys ever want to borrow, it's
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
that one.
This was
fire.
one I bought the first book. I couldn't put it down and immediately bought
Oh,
books.
was everything
2
okay?
to 6. Yeah. And I still have it in my hands.
It's glued.
Sat on my hands.
Oh God, it's glued. Yeah.
So, wait. You sat on your hands, so you.
Every time you see me, I have like this cutout of paper just stuck in like wedge
From,
of my
it's
hand,
from
like
some piece of the Why the Last Man.
yeah.
Nice.
But no, it's when I picked up all the others immediately. I think the only reason I was gonna put it not as high. I mean, similar. There's like not as much like sci-fi components
No
in it outside of
freaks.
some of the more smaller stuff, but just
Well-
also part of the comic. There's a couple books that get a little filler to me. I remember
100%.
like in the middle, but outside of that, great story.
Something that helped me a lot was the fact that I only read it in like the big compendiums.
Mm.
And so like
Nice.
when it was getting into some
It's
of the
like-
filler, it's like I knew that like I was like, okay, well at least I know there's more in the back. I would like flip to one page and kind of like take a peek at the
Yeah.
at a picture
Like,
and be like, ooh, okay, there's stuff to look forward to.
yeah, it's a good end too. So it's not like
I feel like
it's not one that ends poorly.
the end is where it really takes its like sci-fi fantasy turn too.
Yeah,
Where so it's like
Exactly.
it's interesting because it is very gritty realism for most of it, but then at the very, although I do like the very big, just like with like Planet of the Apes, very big like cultural like new cultural foundations like critiques and about like how about how new like sects of people arise that all like kind of like start to find each other based off of like how they mutually want to deal with the world and what has happened the same way. So pretty cool.
Gibbledang.
Does it look like I have a giant microphone right now?
It does right now. Actually, it looks more like you
Nice.
just have a tiny head.
Tiny, yeah.
Perspective.
Like
It's just the head though.
And if I'm
The
like,
rest of me
right
is
now.
normal.
Look, so we gotta do this. Giant mic. That's what I think. 10 giant mics out of 10 giant mics.
Mhm.
Where would you put that giant mic? In the S tier, A tier, B tier?
For freaky,
Which-
you
freaky.
can hear
Put
everything.
it in B. Put it in B. That way we have
B,
4 in
alright.
each.
Yeah,
Nice.
true.
Oh, true.
B for Mike. Anyways,
Before we get to the cream of the crop, the whole catalyst of this whole tier game activity, whatever. Is there any that you feel were missed that you want honorable mentions? That you'd want to throw on this bad boy list?
oh, absolutely.
Last Man on Earth.
Yeah.
Will Smack. What is it?
I Am Legend.
I Am
I Am
Legend.
Legend.
100%. I Am
I
Legend's a
that
good
one
one.
for
Wish I'd added that one.
Yeah.
I
Where are we
do too.
throwing that bad boy?
Probably B.
I would say if you're
Next to Bryan
if you're
Singer.
counting the book and the alternate
Yeah,
ending,
sure.
that is the actual ending of the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
I would say an A. I would personally say an A.
I would agree with the book, and as an A, I think the movie a B, even with the other ending. Personally, I
like
think the
the
book is
movie.
just cool because of the whole premise of it being what it is.
Yeah.
Without spoiling it. But,
Yeah.
But the movie is like I don't know. It's just like once you know the book, it's like that's so much better. They should have just done.
Yeah,
it
it is
that
very
way.
true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's solid. But yeah, so we got Will Smack up here in the B category next to Bryan Singer.
Other-
A-ish.
Honorable mentions, I would say definitely Terminator.
Terminator, yeah.
It's another good one.
So Terminator, I think, is a huge one. That is, I would definitely count as apocalyptic, but it's just another one of those weird ones where since time travel's involved, a lot of time is spent not in the apocalyptic part of the
Yeah.
story.
Well, we could
There are some movies though.
we
that
can
go
only
into the,
watch
like,
Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. It's such.
Insert Christian Bale's mid-set breakdown here.
Oh, good. Oh, for you. Oh, oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, for you. Oh, for you. Oh, and how was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That clip. That was.
It's fucking rotten.
I don't get how you can even get a fucking job if you can't stay out of the fucking seat.
Oh, whoop-de-doo,
Yeah.
walking through the fucking set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the Christian Bale screaming, losing his shit gonna go? S tier?
S tier.
Because that's pretty post-apocalyptic to me.
I mean, Terminator, I feel like that's That's S tier. And you got the freaks because you got the Terminators.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, yeah.
should we also should Matrix
I would
also be
think-
on this?
Sure. It was originally. I cut down the list because I was
Uh,
like, that was one that was on there.
Yeah, because Matrix
Yeah.
is,
That I
is
initially
definitely post-apocalyptic. I
On
would
the
say
tier.
that would be an easy S tier too for
S tier?
Matrix. Yeah, that's like
Mm,
great mythos, great
I-
apocalyptic event.
Yeah.
You know, similar with like the
Freaks.
Yeah, the like AI, you know, advancement of technology destroying mankind. And like the concept
would
of
throw it at the-
pollution and over polluting the
I think
entire
A.
world.
I, was
think
like,
A
I
tier.
would put it in the A or B because I'm like thinking about it in comparison to Terminator. I'm like, I'd rather Terminator.
Oh, see, I would
It's
always
like- I
rather
feel like that's-
Matrix.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I really like.
I
I,
like-
really
I like-
like the Matrix. It's until the
Fair.
internet taught me to hate them. I liked Matrix 2 and 3. So
Oh, gotcha. I hate when people make the internet makes me do that stuff.
it happens.
Let me hate
well,
my bad
people like
movie.
point out all
Come
the
on.
things that I glazed over and didn't like really care about, and then they were like,
Yeah.
"No, but like think about how dumb this is," and I was like, "Oh man, now I can't not."
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
You love
Yeah.
you love being the person who does that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
baby.
Ruining things for people. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, any other last honorable mentions before we jump into the big daddy of them
I will
all?
throw one out
Let's
there, a
do
little
it.
sprinkling, just one more anime, Dr. Stone.
Sure.
If you've ever heard of or seen
I
Dr.
saw that
Stone,
on list.
great
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the list.
Great
or on list,
anime
yeah.
if you love science. It
Okay.
teaches you science as it does the anime,
Ooh.
where it's about a kid who's a science genius who wakes up thousands of years in the future after everybody on Earth got turned to stone. All of a sudden he wakes up and he's not stone anymore, and he has to figure out what he's going to do and how he's going to restart civilization. But he's a genius, so luckily he can figure out how to use the raw materials to do all the crazy science things that the humanity used to do before. And it's about him going step by step
Yeah.
by step from Stone Age back to modern age in terms of like
Nice.
inventions and how far he can skip ahead in between based off the resources available. Very, very good
Yeah.
anime.
All right. But now, the entree, the creme de la creme. Matthew Maxithu.
Matthew
Matthew.
Maxithin.
Maxu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mad Max himself. Where
Angry
post-apocalyptic we got Angry Adam. We got 4 movies with the 5th oncoming, Furiosa. Super stoked to see that. Fury Road's, in my opinion, GOAT, one of the best.
Yeah.
Mad Max 2 is really solid, really cool. 3
Yeah,
is
this is a hard
pretty
one.
good.
So the only one I've seen, I've only seen Fury Road.
Oh.
Based on that, then see, I
I saw
would
the
recommend
older
2.
ones.
They're all fun, but they don't go in expecting Mad Max Fury Road because that's a different movie. That's the 4th movie. If you're gonna go watch a first movie, let's expect the first movie.
Yeah, because I'm not the biggest Mel Gibson fan, but I do love that one
Yeah.
clip. Insert the clip here of him calling
Okay.
an officer sugar tits.
Oh, is that why you called me sugar tits earlier?
Yeah.
I didn't connect that. It's so funny.
It's me, Mel Gibbledangson.
Yeah.
People Dangson.
No, honestly, the fun thing about the Mad Max movies too, the old ones, is he doesn't talk too much, so you don't have to hear Mel Gibson.
That's
talk
true. He
as
really
much.
doesn't.
The only thing, the first movie is very much barely. It's more dystopian than it is like a post-apocalyptic because
Yeah.
it looks just like it's modern day Australia. Like
Yeah.
really. But yeah, how y'all,
Outback.
based on the movies you have seen or the games or whatever you've seen played,
I would
where
have.
would you?
I personally view Mad Max in the BA category. A little bit more B for me, just because I feel like it's really focused on like the cars aspect of the design and like the
Mhm.
and like the I don't know the like junk futurism aspect, which is fun. I just
Yeah.
think
Like its own style.
it's a little lost on me, especially, and they obviously they doubled down on everything related to that when they made Fury Road. And not enough freaks. They have freaky people. They have people that are freaky.
I
But-
don't know about that, man.
They got some good freaks.
It's a freaky
They're not
franchise.
as freaky as Fallout, but they're still
I
freaky.
need some
Yeah.
true freaks. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
even hard for me to like leave Why Last Man at A, but I would say this is also A actually. Now that I'm really thinking about
Honestly-
it, because it does have enough freaks. It does have a good...
like a good sprinkling.
Yeah, because
they
it
get
has
more
very
freaky as the
freaky
series
people.
as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They're Australian, dude. They're all freaks. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, that's where all the...
So I'm just going based off of Fury Road. Like, it's that was just a wonderful movie full of, like, you've got freaks and their own little freak society that's like all centered around cars and whatnot. You got your different, like, you do see different environments throughout the wasteland and how it was, like, I think they do mention that there's like this ambiguous, like, fucking event that turned Australia into like a wasteland or whatever. And yeah, just seeing the different, like, cultures sprout out from that. And I don't know, it does feel, I think it's S tier. I think it's just based off of that movie. I haven't seen the other ones, but just going off of
I'd
that.
recommend. I actually was going to say when I got to this, I'm going to say S tier because I think it is one that it's like what I think it created the wasteland. Without this movie or the franchise, we wouldn't even have Fallout.
Exactly.
Fallout and like Kenshiro, like it's really the progenitor of a lot of the post-apocalyptic and wasteland. I was down to move it down. I'll move it to an A, but then with Gibbledang, I think the majority rules component. But no, I think just also like I love it has the right amount of, like, a good amount of freaks, those Australians. I love the style of it. I mean, it's the one movie that I could say that gets me excited to see some cars too.
Yeah, there's never a movie.
That and Lightning McQueen. That's it.
Lightning
sick.
McQueen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look at my Google search.
Or is it just
No,
when
but,
you watch Cars or see Lightning McQueen, you get excited
it's just
for
him.
Cars?
It's only
Okay,
Lightning
it's just-
Lightning
no, I
McQueen
trust-
himself. The only
I tried
trustable
the
car.
lady car, and it's just it doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
The lady
forgot
car
her
doesn't
name
do it.
even.
All right.
With her tramp stamp and all.
Throw it
But,
in the stupid
no, it's
S tier.
As for stupid.
As for stupid, dumb.
Yeah. It just, like I said, it's because it's like the progenitor, and it's a series that surprisingly just gets better with every installment.
That's
and it's
true.
consistent with the director, which is amazing. It's like rare to see.
Yeah, same
It hasn't really
director,
been-
right? All five. I
Yeah,
think?
like he's just kind of like, let's remake, like one came out, let's remake that, make it better. Kind of like the Evil Dead Sam Raimi kind of how
Yeah.
he did that. It's cool. It's a solid one. I'd recommend it. It's got a lot, like a lot of the motifs, like wasteland guy with the dog, wandering around.
True.
The quiet main protagonist, like a lot of that stuff comes from this, which comes from Shakespeare, which comes from wherever the fuck Shakespeare watched. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
yeah.
like, nope.
I mean, wandering warrior tropes. That's freaking
Yeah.
that's old as hell. But yeah, this is a good way to. This is it was like the modern reinvention of adding that to, like, this dystopian wasteland.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's definitely up there. If not S, it is for sure at least an A in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm still comfortable with it there at the end of S tier.
Yeah, I know we're all stoked for Furiosa, so
I am.
maybe we should,
it looks cool.
go see if we could find a theater in this wasteland that plays it. But
Oh,
before
yeah.
we do that, listeners, let us know too. Actually, how you feel about this. Where would you put some of these things? And is there anything that we missed as far as any post-apocalyptic futures or anything?
It's a good question.
Feel free to reach out. But yeah, so where can people reach y'all in this wasteland?
You know what? Y'all can reach me. I mean, you probably won't find me or I won't respond, but I'll be at Gibbledang on Instagram. Because, like I said earlier, I'm going to be even deeper in the wasteland in Fallout 4 and just
Ooh.
completely
Love it.
disassociating. It's beautiful. It's my day.
Nice.
I had a 3-day weekend. It's flying by, let me tell you.
Yeah, when you're really in the video games,
Yeah.
you just time travel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've been
that's your
there.
fast travel.
Yeah, it's a fast travel. It's the wait
I'm
button.
realizing I love RPGs. Like, it was the same. The last game I played like this was fucking the infamous
Baldur's
Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
Infamous. Yeah, you talking about Infamous by Sucker Punch, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding.
The
too.
Infamous,
the game,
yeah.
It's a
Second
joke.
Son.
Yeah, the video games.
No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
Sucker Punch by Zack Snyder.
There you go.
Ooh, that's my favorite video game.
All right.
But yeah, what about you, Gym Leader Nate? Where can these other super mutants find you?
Yeah, if you find me, send a carrier pigeon or other form of analog communication
Eagle.
to GymleaderNate. Yeah, an eagle, or like a little weird dude on a bicycle that like is powered by chainsaws. But yeah.
That's sick.
I was trying to give something Mad Max
like a Mad
inspired.
Max character. Yeah.
I was thinking more like Gears of War, but I guess not.
Both.
I'm thinking like 4 chainsaws, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah, and then the
And,
2 in the back
Ooh,
are
sick.
set to reverse so that they're all like spinning the same direction. It can climb over
Same
stuff.
time. Nice.
It like cuts through
Yeah.
like things as it drives. Anyways, yeah, if I made a GymleaderNate on it.
Nice. Yeah, and you can find me at Dala.art on Instagram. And like I said, if you have any rankings or anything that we missed for dystopian post-apocalyptic futures, reach out to us at No Dumb Idea on Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, so forth.
I want to see like
Shining lights
monster
upon the
truck.
clouds.
Monster truck with
Sorry, what?
but skateboard instead of like
Big wheels and skateboard.
but like monster truck size. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
this one guy.
Monster truck.
And he's
Yeah.
he's got a bunch of levers and he's going like spitting
Or
fire or something.
better
Yeah,
yet, it's like a crew of like 6 people who like all have to actually steer it like a skateboard, and they all have to like jump onto one side and like make the
Mush.
whole thing turn, and they have to jump on the other side and make
Nice.
it turn.
But there's a big engine at the bottom too, like a big turbo jet.
Yeah,
like I
just
put a jet engine.
Just fucking going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, mine would be a big monster truck, but every wheel is replaced by like a beetle bug car. So it's just 4 cars. instead of
Or
wheels.
like I was thinking you were gonna say 4 monster trucks.
or even better, yeah, just towering up.
Mine would
It'd be
be
like that's it'd be called
so
the
good.
Fortress or something.
There you go. Mine would be like
Ooh,
one of
with
those
the-
big
yeah.
wheel bicycles, with the little tiny little baby wheel in the back.
The wheel in the back.
But the wheels
yeah.
themselves have rockets attached to them to spin them in a circle faster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Mine would be 4 gimps instead of wheels.
I would just ride people.
Oh, 4 people.
And instead of being at a car,
Yeah.
I'd be at home in my room with them.
with Lightning
Instead
McQueen.
of in the Mad Max desert, it would be now.
All right, that's a
All
good
right,
spot.
bye everyone.
No dumb idea. No dumb idea. No dumb